I know it seems complicated, but it's not as hard as you think it is. It is possible to do wholesale deals in Canada. In fact, my first year doing this strategy, I made over $750,000. So let's talk about some off-market things. What's the best marketing channel? What's the best ROI? I get this question a lot. What is the best channel? And folks, there is no best channel. If it's not working for you, it's because you just haven't figured it out. That's really what it is. And you haven't gone deep enough on that one channel. A lot of us, we want to go very wide and cast a wide net instead of going super deep in one market. So on my end, if I'm not getting at least $10,000, I'm not buying the property. So change the way you think about wholesaling. You see, I'm not going out to just find a wholesale deal, find a contract and sell the contract. I'm an investor. I'm fully prepared to take the deal down, to execute the deal, to go all the way through, buy it, fix it, flip it, and sell it.
Have you guys been enjoying the video so far with Ben, Humble CEO? Well, if you have, you're in for a treat. In today's video, he's going to get very tactical with us and get granular into his lead generation process as a wholesaler. If you guys didn't know, his first year fully focused on wholesaling, Ben did over $750,000 in wholesale assignment fees. That's massive. He's absolutely crushing it, and this is a critical component as real estate investors for us to really build out our lead generation system, and Ben's going to dive deep into that in today's video.
Hey guys, it's Ben, Humble CEO. So glad to be here with you today. So let's get into some education. I get a lot of questions all the time like, hey Humble, how do you get all those sweet deals, man? How do you get all those off-market properties? So today I'd like to break down some of this stuff for you and really just help you understand better. So grab a pen and paper, start writing some stuff down, and let's really go through piece by piece into a tactical nuts and bolts kind of thing, right? Right off the bat, here's what I want you to realize, is that the market is very hot. So it's difficult sometimes to find these off-market deals, so you might go through every one of these strategies and different pieces and you might still struggle. The secret with marketing for off-market deals is to split, measure, adapt, and change. So you got to split, test everything that you're doing, measure that, adapt your strategy, change it if you have to, but always keep going. The biggest problem I find with people trying to find off-market deals is that they lose consistency. They do something one time, just like working out. They do something one time and then month two they do it again, maybe, and then month three they stop doing it altogether because it didn't work. So I would rather you take a small budget, stay consistent with that budget, and keep going month after month than like spend a whole bunch of money or a whole bunch of time on one thing and then give up because it doesn't work. The other thing too is it's very easy to get analysis paralysis and very easy to get shiny object syndrome. What works for me might not necessarily work for you. What works for the next guy might not be the best fit for you in your local market. So until you know your market, this is going to be kind of difficult for you to really understand. So the first tip is this. Bing! I want you to learn your market. Learn the areas that you really want to invest in. Know the ARV, that's the after repair value, and figure out this is the property or the pocket. So in my town, I have a little village east of us called Little River Village, and that is my center. I buy a lot of properties there. They created 600 homes there. They built them about 30-40 years ago. I've already bought 60 of those properties. So I'm in that market all the time. I know where I want to buy. So the first thing you can do is get into your local real estate market and figure out, where do I want to buy? And where are my buyers, where are my sellers, and all that kind of thing. Now, if you don't know where to start with that, here's what you can do in a hot market. Find out, where are the investors buying? So go to a local real estate meetup group and ask them, where are you guys looking to buy and what would you pay? You can reverse engineer most of this stuff by just thinking about it backwards. So if somebody in your market says, hey, I want to buy in this pocket or in this neighborhood, I'm willing to pay $100,000, then your job is to find deals in that section for less than $100,000. The less that you pay for those properties, the more money you're going to make. So let's talk about some off-market things. What's the best marketing channel? What's the best ROI? I get this question a lot. What is the best channel? And folks, there is no best channel because one of these is working for somebody somewhere. If it's not working for you, it's because you just haven't figured it out. That's really what it is. And you haven't gone deep enough on that one channel. A lot of us, we want to go very wide and cast a wide net instead of going super deep in one market. I would rather you go super deep, get focused on one channel, split test it, Figure out what doesn't work about it and keep going. So it's kind of nerve-wracking. It's like a relationship. You got to keep staying on top of it. Keep going, keep going. The more consistent you are, the more happy your marriage is going to be. Simple, right? Okay. So the next question, let's start with this. How much should you spend? This is a tough question. Just because somebody spends more than you doesn't mean they're going to get a better response than you're going to get. Marketing for off-market deals is kind of twofold. You can spend money or spend time. You can either get out in the community, leverage yourself, leverage your relationships, which I recommend everybody do, especially at the beginning, is really get out there and really let people know that you're buying. There's nothing worse than somebody who's spending money on marketing, but nobody knows that you're a buyer of real estate deals because you haven't gone out to the local meetup groups, you haven't joined a company like Tribe and told everybody that, hey, I'm buying deals. So if you really get out there, put yourself out there, create a YouTube channel, create some awareness around what you're doing, that's going to be huge for you. My man GC says, if they don't know you, they can't flow you, son, right? And that's very, very true. People need to know what you're doing if you want them to contribute and help you. So, how much should you spend? Listen, this is a business. A lot of people treat this like a hobby. It is not. It's not MLM. This is a real viable business. So you have to create a budget that you can afford, start with that, and keep going. So you can start literally with $1,000 and a lot of hustle. With $1,000 a month, you can do some of these things, and we'll break it down in a second, and it can go a long way. Now, keep in mind, in a wholesale deal, you have to have a minimum ROI on this stuff. You can't just go in for a $500 wholesale profit fee because you're going to set yourself up for failure. So on my end, if I'm not getting at least $10,000, I'm not buying the property. So change the way you think about wholesaling. You see, I'm not going out to just find a wholesale deal, find a contract, and sell the contract. I'm an investor. I'm fully prepared to take the deal down, to execute the deal, to go all the way through, buy it, fix it, flip it, and sell it. So for me, wholesaling is a reverse flipping strategy. Does that make sense? Maybe not. I know it's a little bit tricky, so let me explain. I'm willing to buy the property, close on the property, do the rehab, spend the money, and then flip the property. If I can make sense of that entire transition, then I can make sense removing pieces from that process and just wholesaling. That way I never overpay for a deal. You see, other people, what they do, they try to get a contract and just sell the contract, but then they like squeeze these little micro thin profit margins because they never would really close on the deal anyways. So if you want to avoid some nonsense, if you want to avoid RICO, Real Estate Council of Ontario, if you want to avoid any of the legal issues, then be fully prepared to close on the deal and take possession. Now, for some of you guys, you're like, oh crap, now I got to go raise money. Yes, you do. I fully believe that you should raise money and have it available for your deals. If you don't know where to raise money, ting, Cashflow Tribe. We've got a fund where you can raise money and do deals. If you go into every deal fully prepared to close on the deal, then guess what? Finding a cash buyer is no longer an issue. You see, a very common problem with wholesalers is that once I get the deal into contract, where do I find my cash buyers? You're creating a constraint for yourself because you don't have the money to close. Well, where can you find the most amount of cash buyers? Anybody want to guess? The MLS. That rhymed. So the MLS has all the cash buyers you can need. So your job shouldn't be, I need to go find cash buyers. Your job should be, I need to be able to raise money and close the deal. But to raise money and close the deal, then you got to get the right deal. You can't afford to overpay for this stuff. Does that make sense? So shoot for at least a $10,000 wholesale fee. What I like to do is $10,000 for wholesale, $20,000 if I have to double close the deal, and then $30,000 if I have to actually spend any money on rehab and sell it. So I need to be able to have those profit margins locked up. Think about it this way too. If you want to wholesale it to the next person, you have to give them enough value. So they need to be able to take that property, do the work that you were going to do, fix it and make a profit. If you don't leave any money on the table for the next person, then it's really never going to sell. It's not going to be a good deal. So spend $1,000, spend your effort, or spend $2,000, spend your effort. Some people spending a lot more than that. Some of my budgets have run anywhere from $5,000 a month. One month we had $80,000 in marketing. But we're in 4 or 5 different cities. So you got to decide what's right for you, and I don't want you to compare your journey to my journey because it's different, it's not the same, right? So let's get into some of these different marketing and lead generation strategies. So one of the big ones, this is the cheapest thing you can do, is go through what we call guerrilla marketing. Not that guerrilla warfare marketing. This is the hustle, this is the grind, right? That wasn't even a gorilla, that was more of a monkey, but I'm not good at noises. So let's go with this. Guerrilla marketing tactics. These are gonna be the tactics that you get out there and you're just exerting your own physical effort to go find leads. So door knocking. Listen, it's never been easier to just go out there, find the area you wanna be and just say, click, click, click. That wasn't even it. Let's go with this. Hi, are you thinking of selling your home? I'm looking to buy, right? Why would you pay commissions to an agent when I can just buy the property? So door knocking, amazing. How do you door knock? I know a lot of people struggle with the conversation, but folks, if you want to be in this business, in real estate, it is a people business, right? It's just like my buddy said it the other day, Dan. He said it's just boxes on land. Boxes on land. This is a people business. You have to be willing to talk to people, be open, be energetic. So door knock. You need to do this every month, consistency. So you need to go to your area and door knock it every month. If you're not willing to do this basic piece, then no amount of money that you inject into your marketing is going to help you get over the physical work that needs to be done. This is simple. It's just not easy to do. So that's how this whole thing is, right? Simple to understand, but not easy to do, or you don't want to do it because whatever, we have all these hang-ups. And about the conversation, we could talk about that on another day. Bandit signs. Bandit signs, as you guys know, are basically these plastic little cardboard things, plastic or cardboard, you stick them in the ground, you put them on a telephone pole. Now, most municipalities, they're against the bylaws, but people still put them up anyways. So here's what happens in my local city. You put them up, somebody complains, they take them down, and then you put them up again. That's the truth about bandit signs. Am I telling you to do it? No. But is anything going to happen if you put them up? Maybe. Who knows? But a lot of people do put them up. Some people post them on like really high on telephone poles, so you can't get them down even if you wanted to. I know one that's been in my town for like the last 2 years. We keep complaining, the city guy goes there and he's like, yeah, I ain't getting a ladder for that. Then he walks away. So bandit signs are great. Some people put them in lawns. Think of creative places, busy intersections, and in the neighborhoods that you want to be in, that's where you should be advertising. Door hangers. Door hangers are awesome. You get these little cutout door hangers. I think there's a picture of one somewhere. Click. Door hanger, and you literally walk around the neighborhood, you pop them on the door, say, hey, I'm buying in this neighborhood. Those work. You see people say, well, why would that work? Well, think about the seller. You're really solving a seller's problems. And even though in that moment, maybe the seller is not yet ready to pull the trigger and sell that property, that door hanger probably would sit in, in his counter or on his desk for maybe a couple weeks or a couple months. When he's finally like ready to pull the trigger, your door hanger is sitting right there. People want to do business that are familiar, that they know, like, and trust. If they know you because you're consistent, maybe they'll like you, and if you can develop trust, you'll probably get that phone call. Now you got windshield notes. I love these little windshield notes. So here's what you do, right? You go to the mall, you get these little business cards made up. I actually did this back at ORAC, if you remember. In Windsor ORAC, everybody's like, what are all these notes on our windshields? Hi, that was your boy, okay? And you walk around saying, you just slide them in the windshield. Now don't let people see you because they're gonna get annoyed if you touch the car. But anything you can do to say, hey, I'm here. Why not go to the mall on a Saturday and just go brrr, right? You're creating awareness. Now, are you gonna get people who are angry? Yes. Because they feel like you invaded their privacy. But that's going to happen everywhere. Regardless of what you do with guerrilla marketing, people are going to get annoyed. You got to get over it. Develop some thick skin and just keep going forward. So every time you get a no, remember this in real estate and in business, a no leads to a yes. As soon as I get my no, then I can pivot from that no and keep going. So your job isn't to close with these things. Your job is to start a conversation. It might be the middle finger, but it's a conversation. Okay, so let's move on here. We got two kind of main sources of marketing lead generation tools. We've got analog and we've got digital. Let me say this, they're both very relevant. One isn't greater than the other. In fact, one works better than the other sometimes and then it switches. So let's talk about some of the analog things, flyers. Okay, if you guys want to do flyers, get ready. Again, you can go to the targeted little neighborhoods that you want to be in and hand deliver them, or you can go through Canada Post, and what they do is they have a neighborhood map tool where you can actually pinpoint the areas, they'll drop the flyers there for you. Now, if you want to play with the big boys, I've got them on retainer for 1 million plus flyers a year. So I'm getting it for a lot less than you are. But you can probably get a flyer printed and ready to be sent out for about 23 to 25 cents per unit. So if you're going to blast the whole city, be prepared to spend 10 grand, 15 grand, whatever, we spend a lot more than that, but we do a lot of flyers. But this is a great way to get in front of people. Billboards, Got 3 or 4 billboards here, and you know what? I'll tell you this. Billboards are great for branding, not so much for lead generation. There's a very fine balance between both because people want to know, like, and trust you. So I would say one of your greatest things in this world is that if you have a billboard or any one of these other items, you need to have a website they can go back to watch some videos, get to know who you are, testimonials, all that kind of stuff. Okay? Car wraps. If you see anything in my town, you'll see my Jeep is wrapped. You'll see my face driving everywhere. This works great because people notice you. But do not drive like a maniac because people notice you. Okay? There's limitations to everything. Bus ads, I love bus ads because the buses here, they're just moving, kind of random on random schedule. So a lot more engagement, a lot more people are seeing the bus ads and calling them on billboards. Plus, when you're driving behind the bus, it's easy to just read the bus. The billboard is a static image, so you drive right through it. This guy, you'll fall around the whole city. You go to newspapers. So I love these little, like, especially local newspapers where you can get like a little ad in the penny saver. Those are great because who are the people that typically are selling their homes privately? I would say it's a lot of folks that are struggling that need to sell. You know, people reading the newspaper, perhaps older people. So just be anywhere that your target audience is. Okay. Another really cool one is bird dogging. I know I'm going pretty fast here, but I just want to cover as much as possible because I have a short amount of time. Bird dogging is basically somebody finding a lead, but you doing all the work. So let's say you've got a local friend, a buddy, whoever, and they go out and start having conversations. They start doing the door knocking, the bandit signs, the hangers, and then when they find somebody interested in selling, they say, hey, I've got somebody, can you build up the conversation and do it? Now, this is also the best way to start if you're completely brand new. Go find a wholesaler like me or one of Matt McKeever's guys or Adam Martin or one of these people and become their bird dog. Say, I will go and do all this guerrilla marketing stuff, and if I find a lead, would you guys pay me? I've paid bird dogs anywhere from $500 to $10,000 for a simple lead because that lead is so valuable. So this is a great way to do it. Another cool piece, realtors. Realtors have a lot of off-market deals. You just don't know because they don't advertise it. They're supposed to put them on the MLS, but you know, they don't. So what you can do is build a relationship with realtors. Get to know them, get to have conversations with them, and then you'll find you'll get that phone call every once in a while. Most of my best deals come from referrals. That's why when a new wholesaler comes around, it's not like, oh crap, another wholesaler. Hey man, can you do your thing? Hey gal, do your thing, it's great. I mean, most of mine are coming from referrals anyways, right? So connect with people, have conversations, take them out for coffee. And then cold calling. Now, do I mean going to use some service in Nicaragua where they make 4,000 calls a day? Yes, that is one version of cold calling, right? You can hire a service that can do the calls for you, or you can simply start doing the calls yourself. Now, real quick pause here. People say, hey, but where do I get the list? The white pages. You wanted to know where you actually take that list and how do you dilute it so you can get the raw, the good stuff, instead of calling all 8 billion people. But you can use that and you can actually get the areas and the phone numbers of the areas you want to invest in and just call those people. So there are ways to do cold calling for real estate deals all the time. Okay, that's analog. Pretty cool? Slow? A little too slow? All right, let's pick it up from our digital guys. Digital. Okay, digital. Okay, this is the new thing. This is everything. Everybody wants this. This is cool. This is hype. This is exciting. This is energetic. This is just as good as this. It's the same thing as long as you stay focused and consistent. Facebook ads. You can run Facebook traffic in your market. You can target and segment an audience and start hitting them. The problem is you don't own Facebook. Facebook owns Facebook, and they keep changing their algorithms, stinking algorithms, and they keep changing who you can target. Profiling, demographics, like they want you to pay for targeting, but then they don't want you to target people because it's not PC, right? It's not politically correct to target people. Like, what am I paying for, man? So it keeps getting worse and worse. However, you can use this as a tool to target people and then get in front of them. The thing I like about digital is that a few years ago, people would sit back and watch TV and sit like this and watch the game. Now people sit back and watch TV with their phone in their hand. So they're watching TV, but they're really looking at their phones. If you can catch them when they're relaxing, looking at their phone, you can get them with Facebook ads. PPC is pay per click. These are Google ads. So you can actually pay. So when people search sell my home X, your ad will pop up before somebody else's. Another great source is Kijiji ads. So go on Kijiji every day, all day, because there's people here who are selling their homes privately. You can also post homes on Kijiji, and you can I got a lot of deals through Kijiji in the last few years. Okay? Social media is huge. That's a whole nother video on how to leverage social media to get off-market deals. But this basically comes down to letting people know what you do and letting them know that you are buying. People got to know what you're doing. Email marketing, again, using emails to really drive the conversations, saying, hey, I'm buying, what's going on? So that's a really great piece you can use. RVM is ringless voice messaging. This is kind of voodoo to Canadians, but you can send out thousands and thousands of RVMs per day, and you can hit people's landline voicemails, right? You can have conversations. Be careful with this one. You got to make sure that you got a national telemarketing do not call list number registration, and you scrub that data. Scrub it, son. And then text blast. You can blast out people. This is a little bit trickier these days. Some of these things are a little bit foreign to Canadians. This is more of an American strategy unless you figure it out like your boy. Otherwise, you're going to be limited to some things. So there's a lot of different options here. So what do you do? Start small. Pick one. Figure out how much you want to spend. Do the guerrilla marketing stuff. Really analyze this stuff and do it consistently. Write it down on a piece of paper. Open up an Excel spreadsheet and go boom, boom every day. Track your steps, track your steps. If you take this as seriously as you take lifting weights and tracking your macros and tracking your exercises and your weight reps, then you'll do great. If you do this one time and then you stop, you're not going to make it happen. So I know it's more confusing. If you like this stuff and want more information, we've got a whole trading inside of Cashflow Tribe with this stuff. This is where we get really in depth on wholesaling. We get really in depth on off-market deals, on how to find stuff, how to market. We have a whole boot camp on this actually, and it's powerful because obviously in a few minutes I can't explain everything to you, but this is the general concept of how to get started. What I would encourage you to do is if you want more information like this, head over to cashflowtribecanada.com. Make sure you join our group, our conversations, our Facebook groups, and come to the next bootcamp where we break down this stuff. And you know what? I know it seems complicated, but it's not as hard as you think it is. It is possible to do wholesale deals in Canada. In fact, my first year doing this strategy, I made over $750,000. It's no lie, real deals, but I was focused, I was invested, and I was willing to push myself and grow. So we'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much for checking this out, and I hope you got a lot of value. Make sure you hit that smash button, subscribe, and share. Take care and stay humble.
Thanks again to Ben for breaking down his process and thoughts when it comes to lead generation, especially whether you're a wholesaler, flipper, or just a burn investor looking to buy below market value. It's critical that we build out that deal pipeline. If you're struggling currently to build out your deal pipeline, then you absolutely need to check out what we're doing with Cashflow Tribe. Check out cashflowtribecanada.com or cashflowtribe.ca, or find us on Facebook or pretty much anywhere social media is. And again, if you guys enjoyed this video, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel. I'll see you in the next video.